Hello, everybody. Thank you for being with us for this episode of our Take the Risk, Take the Lead series. We are happy to be able to hold this space for unique learning experiences shared in person by outstanding women who contributed significantly in the insurance industry and in business overall, and who positively imprinted many lives and helped grow many careers with their role model personalities. Today, our guest is Mrs. Patty Karuaihe-Martin. Patty is the Managing Director of NamibRE, NamibRE National Reinsurance Corporation. She has over 30 years of work experience in finance, accounting, insurance, and reinsurance. In 2021, she was re-elected as the chairperson of the Organization for Eastern and Southern Africa Insurers, OESAI, as well as an executive member of the Africa Insurance Organization. Patty's work in sustainability and climate change has led her to be elected on the UN Environment Programme Finance Initiative Global Steering Committee, where she also serves as a co-chairperson. Thank you for being with us today, Patty.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Patty, we have prepared 3 questions for you today, just 3. Within your life journey full of inspiring stories, I'm eager to hear your answers. And here comes the first. What risks turned out to be your chances of turning your life around? I mean, I would be happy if you could tell us a story about personal as well as the professional risk that you had to take.
Yes. Yeah, no, thank you so much for the question. Indeed, a very relevant question, because being in a professional and also a mother, and you always have to take certain risks, whether it's, and most of the time it's also impacting on your professional life as well as on your personal life. So the two of them goes most of the time hand in hand. So yes, over the 30 years or more than close to 31 years that I've been in the financial sector, I have indeed taken many risks. However, being an accountant by profession, it has been most of the time calculated risk that I have taken. So whenever I take a risk, I always weigh up what is the outcome of the what can go wrong, or what is there any mitigating factors? What do I? So obviously, you look at the whole holistically about the decision that you're going to be taking, and before I do take the risks. Yeah. So if I can give you an example, obviously, yes, over a span of 30 years, you will have many risks that you have taken, but I will share with you 1 or 2 that maybe has been quite significant in my life. The first one that I can think of is that when I made a career change, move, not specifically still in the financial sector, but where I've decided that I want to become a tax professional, which is still in the financial sector, but it is definitely a different technical application. So I had to, by then I was an internal auditor, and I took the decision that I'm going to go for what I indeed want to do, and that is to become a tax professional. So it's almost a change in career where you have to obviously adjust your technical abilities. And once I've taken that, it was quite a challenging in the sense that I had to take the decision to say where you have to take salary cuts, for instance, because you almost have to go start from a different level from where you have been maybe a senior manager. Now you had to go to just being a manager. But those are all calculated risks, because once I've done it in the space of 6 months, I've become then a tax partner with PwC. So it was quite a calculated risk. When I was taking it, it was not, you had to weigh up quite a few things. But once I've taken the decision and I've put myself into it, the value for the next 10 years, I could show the benefit of it. And I have definitely enjoyed being a tax professional for 10 years and also in one of the big 4 firms. So I've grown very well, and yeah, I think so. That's what's on the professional side. And I think maybe if I can mention on the, also still on the professional side, where it's impacting on, I've taken quite many risks as well. When I work with people and I can identify that they have the potential to become, they have the ability or the potential, but they just need some guidance. In many institutions, I've taken the risk to give them that opportunity to get to advance their careers, and many of the times, most of them has turned out well. But those are the type of risks that one has to take. Sometimes someone is very young and then he might not have gotten that same opportunity. But in my case, I was also at a very young age. I got an opportunity to prove myself. So I always give that back to other people as well.
Oh, perfect. So I hear that it's always right time when you want to make the change, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, it's one has to definitely weigh up many things, and sometimes you have to give up something in order to get something else. So there's always the timing should also be right, and you should be also ready to make that change.
Maybe being aware of the opportunities as well, right?
Yes, yes. And also looking into your environment as to what are the needs around you. And is there, like, I think if we look at the current situation where we are now, where the 4th industrial revolution is there, data analytics, it is, I mean, anybody who's young and in the profession of insurance, you need to right skill yourself to be ready for the future. And I think another important one will be obviously on sustainability, ESG, and climate related matters. If you are in the insurance sector or in the financial sector, those are core areas where you definitely can make those calculated risks to see how can I adjust myself, how can I make myself more relevant. And those are all the risks that we are taking, but it's normally calculated risk, and the benefits are always outweigh what you are putting in.
Mm-hmm. Perfect, thank you. In fact, you already answered my second question, but I still want to ask if we can go further. How did you choose these risks exactly? I mean, you mentioned weights and calculations. So what factors, for example, are you weighted in your balance to make these decisions, to take the risks?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question, in the sense that obviously when you're making that decision, or if you assessing a specific type of risk, it is always good to, whether it's personal or whether it's professional, or doesn't matter what type of risk, it's always good to outweigh what is the cost benefit of the risk, and are you willing to go to take it? Does it make sense to you as a person, or does it make sense to you as a business, from a business perspective? So yes, so when you're taking the decision, it is always important to go sit and do a bit of planning. I always believe that one always need to plan, and once you planning something, you look at what is the goals, what is the objectives, what is it that you want to achieve when you are taking the specific risk, what is ultimately the impact that it's going to have, whether it's on your life or whether it's on your business, or whatever the reason why you're taking the risk. So when one take it from that, you normally list as to what makes sense. Is it like, I'm trying to look at the example, but like, say if you're saying that you want to make a decision maybe to employ someone with maybe all the right skills, but maybe not necessarily the experience, but then you willing to give that person the opportunity to get the experience. But when you take that the risk to take the person on, then you must also automatically, together with that, take into account that you will have to give the person a bit of space to support the person more in order to get to the level that he or she is expected to operate. And especially taking into account the insurance and the financial sector, where especially in the African context, we do have a skill shortage. We don't always have people, so you might find someone with the right qualifications, but not necessarily the right skill or the experience. So sometimes we have to take that decision that you will give the person the opportunity to groom him or her, but in that case, it will be expected from yourself as the manager or the person to whom this person is reporting to do a little bit more. You will have to take the person's hand. You will have to do more than if you would have taken. Those are the type of risks that you normally consider. What are you prepared to go for in order the return that you will receive in the future? So yes, and then maybe overall, whenever, I mean, if you take an investment that if you have money that you want to invest, the more riskier the investment, obviously the higher the return. So many a times, whatever we are doing, the more we risk, normally, depending on how you do it, obviously you get the benefits later. So yes, it is very important when it comes to risk to always to understand that whatever how far you're gonna go is also how far back you're gonna receive the return. So it's always when you're making the decision, you need to say how risk averse am I? Am I really not gonna go beyond this point? What is the point that you can take in terms of what you're willing to accept as that's fine for you to proceed or to do something. So that is very important when it comes to risk, to consider what is your level of ability that you are prepared to accept as your risk that you are taking in order for the return that you will receive. So yeah.
Thank you. So it's really amazing how I see you think the overview, like not on like taking, because you are responsible not only for yourself, but the environment you create, or you are holding a space for a community or communities. So thank you so much, showing how you think other people or everyone in your community. That's yes. Perfect. And the last one is, our last question is, what risk you wish you took, but you did not?
Yeah, there's not something specific coming to mind, but I must say that I personally don't have any regrets of any risks that I have not taken. The ones that I've taken, I think I'm pretty happy with the outcomes. I'm pretty happy with the achievements. So yeah, I cannot really, nothing comes to mind, because like I've said in the beginning, whenever I take a risk, I do go into it and I do assess it quite properly to make sure that I do a calculated risk. And if the outcome is maybe not too favorable, then I've already maybe balanced it into my calculation that it will be acceptable to me. So yeah, I cannot think now specifically of a risk that I should have taken. Yeah, in life, obviously, there are smaller types of risk where you're saying, maybe I could have done this or I could have done that, but no, nothing specific standing out that I can say that I should have taken that risk and what would have been the outcomes. But no, I cannot think of anything that's standing out. Yeah.
So I hear you very strong, and this really touches me. Thank you so much, Patty. Because it also feels like the optimism, you know, because life is an experience, and it's like whatever risk we choose, we should enjoy it, maybe, whatever the outcomes, right?
Yeah, no. I am an opportunity. I always look at the positive side, so maybe that's why I cannot, like now, on the top of my head, just think of anything negative that I should have done. Yeah, I think, because if the opportunities is there, I think to end is like, maybe if the only things that what we can say is that if you could have had the opportunities to make a bigger change in the world, especially when it comes to women, they are entering the profession. So what I would have wished is maybe to assist more women, but unfortunately, one don't always have the time to spend on, saying, mentoring 10 or 20 people. You can only maybe do 1 or 2 at a time. So yeah, if the only thing that one can regret is to say, how could I have made a bigger impact in this world, especially regarding women and women leadership. But we can actually say it is progressing well, because I think if I can say, when I entered the insurance sector, one of the female ladies came to me and said, but did you see, we're only 3 women that are CEOs of reinsurance companies. And for me that time, it was quite a shock. And hopefully by the decisions or wherever we are, we can make the impact, we can make the changes of saying, how can we bring in more women? And I think through the activities that we are doing, that we are creating more opportunities for women, and hopefully more women are willing to risk it out there and come and show what they can do to make a difference in this world.
Perfect. I'm sure you are supporting all the women around the world. That's really inspiring, and thank you for being with us within this framework here. And I hope we can all together open this space or hold this space for more women who deserves it already. And for the closure, let's say, last but not least still, could you leave a word of wisdom, like that you would tell young Patty or other women now that you look back? How should she take risks?
Yeah, I think since we are focusing on the risks for today, I think it is very, very important for anybody, any young woman or any young professional that is coming out to try and make a difference. I think it's important from yourself, whenever you're taking the risks to do or to contribute, always make sure that you have analyzed what is the benefits for you, what is the benefits for the organization. And at the end of the day, it's very important to align your purpose and what you want to achieve with your organization's purpose as well, and see how you can, when you're taking your type of risks, how they are aligning to the organization that you are working for, and then how can, if you put it together, what is the impact and how can you, to the best of your ability. I'm sure whenever we do anything, the risk that we are taking, you're always expecting that the return should be good. So whatever we are doing, always look at the benefit, or like in the financial sector that you will say, we will talk about the returns. What is the return on your investment that you are putting in? So yes, unfortunately in life, or fortunately in life, we have to take risks. Taking these risks is actually at the end of the day making choices. So we have to make the choices that are going to deliver the highest return for us and also for the environment or the organizations that we are working for.
Thank you so much, Patty. And together we thank our audience and look forward to your comments and questions for our guests that we would be more than happy to answer. Again, to our audience, thank you for being with us in our Take the Risk, Take the Lead program today. Magnificent women shared their stories with us. And you can check all our episodes at our YouTube and LinkedIn pages. Thank you.
Thank you so much.